Welcome to State Sports News. We have some breaking news right now for you from the footballing world. This is just in from Manchester United and Old Trafford, and that is the quadruple winning manager, the most successful manager to take over the club since Sir Alex Ferguson has left, in Luke State, has been forced to step down after a major disagreement between himself and the chief executive of the club in Ed Woodward. There is talk that there was huge disagreements between Woodward and State over the upcoming season's transfer budget following on from his success, and that they weren't supporting him enough, and it boiled over into a huge argument that ensued during a live press conference when Woodward was talking about the plans for the upcoming season. And supposedly Luke State even threw a bottle as hard as he could at Ed Woodward and connected with the shot. As a result, as soon as that occurred, Woodward got up and fired him on the spot. In terms of what will happen now with Manchester United, it looks like Pochettino will now be appointed to the club as their new manager. But in terms of Luke State's career, we here at State Sports News really do not quite know what will happen. Will he manage to revive his career much like he managed to do with the Red Devils? Only time will tell. But from all of us here at State Sports News in the studio, thank you very much for joining us. That just about wraps up our announcement here today, but we will all see you again next time. So then, here we are back at the job centre, unemployed once more. Not fantastic, it really isn't. Still though, I guess it's time to fill out a form and see what I can get as a new job then. So I've been asked to fill in skills. Well, obviously tactically astute, obviously. I mean, that goes without saying. Quadruple winner as well. That's definitely got to get put on there. Highly determined, I'd say that gets on there as well. And a motivator, 4 very good skills. What about, it says weaknesses. Well, I guess throwing bottles at people, that's a big one. That definitely didn't help my cause, did it? I suppose not only throwing bottles at people, but throwing bottles in games and bottling games as well. I suppose that's also definitely got to be added in there as well. Well, let's get that all submitted. I think that's all fair enough. Let's get that given in there. Oh, hang on. I've got a phone call already. Hello? Yes, this is indeed the former manager of Manchester United, the quadruple winner and now fully disgraced manager after throwing a bottle at Ed Woodward in Luke State. That is indeed me. How can I help? Ah, FC Kaiserslautern, from the German 3rd Division. Am I interested in a job? Yes, I would be. Out of interest, any information on the team at all? Okay, so you're a decent team in that side. Of course, you're apparently a fallen giant, and now you're needing a new manager to come in and bring you back to your former glory days. Well, then you've definitely got the right man in me. I am definitely up for that challenge, and I will be with you guys in a few seconds. Welcome then guys to Kaiserslautern here on LS Plays FM for Football Manager 2021. We are now here for a brand new series. Of course, you've just seen all of the intro stuff, and with me finally getting a new job offer after I was rather unceremoniously sacked or forced to resign, I guess you could say, from Manchester United. Now, obviously, our previous series, Taming the Red Devils, is now complete after our quadruple winning antics. We have finished with our time at Manchester United. The beta save is officially over, and we are here for our main save with Kaiserslautern, which will be known as the Red Devil Revival. Kaiserslautern being the Rotten Twofold, otherwise known in English as the Red Devil. So a rather interesting link between our previous side and our current side is that they both had the exact same nickname. You can see here on the screen that we have indeed taken charge. At Kaiserslautern, we've been given a rather decent deal of £8,250 per week contract, and now our journey to try and get this fallen giant essentially back to their original glory days. Kaiserslautern
were once upon a time a very, very strong side. They won the Bundesliga just over 20 years ago, the actual first division in Germany. They were one of the few examples of a team ever in football history to get promoted from the second tier and in the following season to win the top division. They got promoted in the 96-97 season to the Bundesliga, and in the 97-98 season they won the Bundesliga as well. Now, of course, with this type of save, it's going to be a much longer term save than what the Manchester United save was. Of course, with that save, it was only the one season. This will probably be a good 5-10 year save, quite possibly. The goal, of course, will to eventually be winning the Bundesliga, maybe to even go further and win European competitions as well. But we will wait and see quite how it goes with me as manager. Who on earth knows? Of course, we had success at Man U, but this is going to be a completely different experience. Of course, guys, if you do enjoy our little intro here with Kaiserslautern, do make sure to drop a like on the video. It massively does help the channel out. And of course, if you're looking forward to seeing any more of this type of save with Kaiserslautern, the Red Devil Revival, or any of my Football Manager 21 experiment videos, quite possibly, much like my 100 years into the future video and my free transfer experiment video, which went live over the past few weeks. I'll be linked above me as we go. And do make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified when any of my content here on YouTube goes live. Now, of course, this video with Kaiserslautern today is mainly just going to be an introduction to our team and, of course, our objectives and that type of stuff, the transfer budget and our plans going forward. Next episode, which should hopefully be out on Friday, of course, this should be dropping on Wednesday, this video here today. We will then be looking to have our first matches in Friday's episode and run through any transfers, that type of stuff. In terms of the board objectives and everything like that, they're not expecting too amazing of a season from us this year, thankfully, if I'm honest. They want us to mainly focus on developing young players through the club's youth system, which I'm all for. Of course, we're in Germany. German teams are very much renowned for bringing through young players, so we will definitely be focusing on doing that. Hope we get some good youth intakes, things along those lines. We've been asked to work within the wage bill, which I think we have about 10 grand to play with in terms of bringing in new players, something along those lines. They want us to get into the top half of the third Bundesliga. Kaiserslautern are in the third division. There is only 3 divisions in Football Manager 21 by default. We are in the bottom of that tier here in Germany, and they want us to reach the second round of the German Cup or the DFB Pokal. So that should hopefully be doable. We enter at the first round, so we only have to get through one round basically to meet those objectives. Of course, if we can push higher than that, that will be fantastic. But I'm going to accept that vision with the board. In terms of the actual third division, if I go into it so you can actually have a look and understand quite how the league works, there is a possible 3 promotion spots in this division. You have obviously the winner of the league, obviously wins the title, goes up automatically. Second place goes up automatically as well. And third place goes into a playoff, and you play the team that finishes 16th in the league above. So you have like a relegation, promotion, playoff basically. If we can aim for that third spot or above, fantastic stuff. But realistically, we need to just try and get our footing this season, I reckon, and see quite how we do. In terms of our squad and how we're going to be lining up on our tactics, we're going to be using a relatively similar tactic to the one we use at Manchester United. We're going to be using especially counter-attacking football. I think being a team like ourselves, we are predicted to be a good side in the division. In terms of actually where we're predicted in the league, if I just show you so you know, I believe we're predicted to finish 4th. We're actually predicted to finish 3rd. So, okay, so we are supposedly one of the stronger sides in the league, but I still think despite that, playing a counter-attacking type football, it's what I know from this year's Football Manager and previous year's Football Manager, so that's what we're going to try and focus on here. We're not going to focus too highly on possession, anything like that. We're going to play a slightly wider formation though compared to what we're used to with Man U. Essentially, it's going to be a 5-2-3 where we're going to have inverted wingers and advanced forward. We're going to have only 2 men in the midfield, and then we're going to have 5 at the back. So we're going to have to rely quite heavily on our width and our wing play, I expect, with this type of tactic. We're going to be on a balanced kind of mentality to start with. We may change that to positive if we find we're doing quite well. In terms of when we're in possession, we're going to be a standard width pass into space. We're going to have a standard passing directness, a higher tempo, and we're also going to do like whipped crosses, that type of stuff. Other than that, we're not going to have too many instructions. Of course, we're at a lower level of football. We don't want to try and confuse the players, anything like that. When we're in transition, we're going to be trying to counter-press, counter, and distribute as quickly as we can do. Other than that, not much else to focus on. When we're out of possession, we're going to have a normal line and a normal line of engagement as well. We're going to look to be quite urgent when we're pressing, prevent the short goalkeeper distribution, and to get stuck in. We'll also try and make sure we can force the opposition outside when we are defending as well. We're also, of course, going to have the Manchester United tactic as a backup. In this team, we don't really have much in the way of advanced playmakers. So the reason why we're focusing on the wingers is because we have a lot of wingers in this team. In terms of that Man U tactic, by the way, guys, I did very recently make a new tactic video actually on that tactic we used in the Manchester United save. So there will be a link to that video above me. You can go and download the tactic and utilise it in your own football managers if you would like to. In terms of the plans for the actual squad though, there's a few areas we really do need to improve. One being right back. We only have one out and out right back in Dominic Shad, and he's not particularly great. We also really need to improve our central midfielders. We have no depth in midfield whatsoever in this side. So definitely midfielders is a real problem for us. We need to really hope we can strengthen. In terms of some of the big players in this squad, just so of course you can get to know some of the lads, Kevin Krause is by far one of our best players, if not the best player at this team. He is a 4-star central defender according to our assistant manager and our scouts and everything. I think he's one of the highest paid players here as well. He's a very, very good defender at this level. I believe he's supposed to be a decent player for the league above, which indeed he is. So he is by far our strongest player. We have two very decent wingers, one in Kenny Redondo here. He's a left-footed winger, but I'm going to be playing him on the right so he can cut inside as that inverted type winger. We have a look at him here. You can see in terms of his attributes, he's very, very quick, which at third division German football is very, very handy to have. Physicals outnumber technicals when you're at this level. And of course, as we move up, we'll have to get more technically adept players. But the fact he is so quick should prove to be really, really useful. We also have Marlon Ritter, who's going to be our left-sided winger, but he is also a right footer, so he again is going to be an inverted winger type player. Unlike Kenny Redondo, Ritter here is very much a technical player. He's fantastic at set pieces, he's very good on the ball, good at long shots, got a lot of flair. He's not as quick, but he's a very tricky type player, so he could prove to be a very, very good player here indeed. One of the other main players just to mention as well on this side is our left back, Adam Hlušek. I think is how you pronounce it. He's a Czech wing back. He's 31. He's here on loan, so he probably won't be here for very long. But for the first season, he could be very, very useful as that left wing back, which is where we're going to be playing him. He is very, very good for this level. Again, a player who is reckoned to be a very good player for the league above. So in this side, we do have some very, very decent players. We just need to try and strengthen it in a few other areas, and I think we could very well have a team that could be pushing in and around the top of the division. In terms of our finances, we have no transfer budget. We have quite a little bit of money though in the actual bank, so hopefully we can maybe negotiate to get a little bit of extra money to spend. But as I said earlier, we have £10,000 in order to spend on our wages, so we can hopefully get 1, 2, maybe 3 free transfers, loanee type players into the squad. Of course, as I said earlier, we will go through all of the transfers that we make in next episode. That will be on Friday. The final thing though, just to mention of course guys, much like how Taming the Devils finished off, we will be sticking with our 3 days a week schedule, so the Monday, Wednesday and Friday episodes, hence the reason why next episode will be out on Friday. But overall though guys, that just about wraps up our little introduction here with Kaiserslautern. Of course, just a run through of our tactics, of our squad, of our plans for the series. Of course, as I've already said, hopefully we can look to get Kaiserslautern back to the early 2000s, late 90s type time when they had the likes of Michael Ballack in that team and they were pushing for glory in the German First Division. Of course, only time will tell quite how we do. I've got no idea. I have managed Kaiserslautern in previous FMs, but not for about 2 years. So it's going to be interesting to see quite how I do. My German as well is very, very lacking. I studied German when I was at school, so I'm going to hopefully try and not butcher the pronunciations. But you know what I'm like, me and names don't really go together, unfortunately. Regardless though, guys, I really hope you enjoyed just this little intro, this little kind of teaser with our series. Of course, we'll be getting into the action properly in next episode. If you did enjoy today's video though, guys, do make sure to drop a like on the video. It massively does help the channel out. And of course, if you're looking forward to seeing any more of my content here on Foot Managers, such as the Red Devil Revival series, then do make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to be notified when any of my content here on YouTube goes live. But guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you again next time.